I don't know about Ian worrying about coming between myself and Peter. I worry about following him, to be honest. So I think that was an excellent example of how authorities can work together. Of course, we would say at the moment we're so big, it's difficult for us to do that, but I think it's coming, and I think I'll talk a little bit more about that as I work through the presentation. This is just a slide to show you just how big we are and the sort of numbers we have. We've focused on 5 key things that we want to do, but essentially the purpose of showing you that is that we recognise that we've actually got to change what we do in order to meet the challenges that face us. And that's through our business transformation programme. We're actually changing and helping the staff to do that through an organisation development programme that sits alongside. Business transformation for us, and included in that is our shared services strategy, is really about three key things. It's very much about improving services. It's about improving efficiency and making productivity gains. And alongside that, we can't do that without bringing the staff along with us and giving them greater job satisfaction. We recognised when we set off on our programme of change that we didn't have the capacity and capability to do this on our own. So unlike Alasdair, who spent less than £3,000 on consultants, we spent slightly more than that. But we think it's given us the returns on the investment that we felt we were right to make. And we created a joint venture company with Capita called Service Birmingham to actually help us deliver our transformation programme. We've got 9 different elements. Each of them impact on different parts of the organisation. We've got programmes that are cross-cutting. In other words, they impact across the whole of the organisation. So Working for the Future is about property, excellence in people management is around people, information management, customer first, putting our customer services together. But then we've got themes that run through each of the services, or 4 of the services across the council. Children's, which is called Brighter Futures, adults, housing and environment. And overall, and this is where the numbers come in, if they press the button, for us it's about realising more than £2 billion worth of benefits, of which approximately £1.5 billion are cashable, for an investment of around £600 million. Our shared services approach is taking both front and back office, and this is our new customer service centre that we've just opened in the inner city in Birmingham. And that forms part of our Customer First programme, which is where we're transforming the front office. But we've got back office functions as well through CST, our Corporate Services Transformation programme, which is around finance and procurement. Working for the Future, as I said, is around property, and that covers both front and back office, and then people and information that sits in the back office. Our Corporate Services Transformation programme was our first programme to go live, and it's really our first shared services element. It was around finance, procurement and business information and business management, and it was about making sure that we had systems and processes that were consistent across the organisation. People have talked earlier this afternoon about working in vertical silos. We managed to do that in each of our directorates. And what we found when we started to look at our need to change was that every finance function in each of the 6 parts of the organisation was operating in a very, very different way. What we did through CST was to bring that together. They still sit in their own directorates, but we have consistent job descriptions, so everybody who is called an accountant is now paid at the same level and is now doing the same job no matter where they work. That's given us the opportunity to allow people to have career structure through the organisation, but it's also meant that it's given us that consistency of information, and through introducing new IT, we're now delivering better information, more up-to-date information to both members and managers. And I should have perhaps said when I talked about the programmes that we are using our IT as enabler to our transformation. It isn't just around IT, but we have gone down a SAP ERP solution. In terms of customer services and customer first, we want our customer services to achieve the following outcomes. But really, it was about bringing together all those people who work on a customer interface and thinking about how we deliver that service through three key elements, essentially giving people the opportunity to self-service through the telephone and the contact centre, and then through face-to-face. And we've implemented a graded response model. So we're working on the first point of contact, delivering 80% of the solution on the first call, and then it gets put back to specialist advice as and when needed. And our intention is to deliver that through the customer service centres that I showed you earlier, but also through various other offices, and we're looking at how we can deliver those services with our partners in the public sector across other points in the city. Working for the future, which is really the infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, is about delivering a better experience for our customers so they have much nicer places to come and visit us, but also a better experience and better work styles and workplaces for our staff. We've just opened we've refurbished an office in the city centre. We had originally, when that building was used, 900 staff over 4 floors. We've now got 900 staff over 2 floors. And the environment and the facilities that they have is much, much improved. By doing that, we're not only giving people better work-life balance, but we're actually producing lower operating costs for ourselves and hopefully giving something back to the environment, not just in terms of reduced employee travel, but a lower carbon footprint as well. Our properties, really, we're looking at in terms of 3 elements. And the corporate support centres, the central admin buildings, we had 55 central admin buildings. We're going down to single figures. We think that's likely to be 8. We've so far achieved a 20% efficiency on the amount of space that we need. We're delivering through a federated property management services, a single property management function. So we're taking out of the service elements the need to manage the buildings they're in and delivering that through a specialist service. And I've mentioned already about the hubs. Excellence in people management. This is just to give you a flavour of what we're doing around our people management function. But again, we have brought all the transactional services to do with people and people management into one part of the organisation and left specialist HR support in each of the directorates. We have now gone live with our managers' self-service and with our employee self-service. We are having some issues, as you might expect, with actually access for everybody. But certainly around the manager self-service, and we've got about 4,500 managers that will be online by the 12th of April and inputting all their own sickness absence and other HR functions that allow them to have a dashboard of information on their desktops. Really, from your perspective, having given you that context, it's very much about what have we seen have been the benefits from our shared services implementation. We have seen, as others have said, significant reduction in costs through both standardisation of processes, but also once you've got those processes in place, you continue to improve on them. And it's a bit like the old tale of you only really start to learn to drive when you pass your driving test. You only really start to use new systems and processes once you've put them in. And I think one of the dangers is there's always this sort of sigh of relief of we've got there, but actually having got there, it's then the start of the journey, and it's then about how you can actually take it forward.